Scandals always blow up on the internet, and this specific one might blow your mind. This is the story of Meghan Hall, a female police officer from a small U.S. police station in Tennessee who allegedly slept with 6 male officers from the same department. Who is Meghan Hall, and why was she accused of having affairs with 6 of her fellow co-workers? Let's dive into the story and see what happened.
Toxic workplace behind closed doors, and how sexual misconduct spiraled out of control.
All of social media was baffled when the news of a female police officer from a small police station in La Vergne, Tennessee, USA, came to the forefront. She was accused of having an affair with her co-worker. Not 1 or 2, but 6 co-workers. How did the news come out? Who ratted her out? Hall's deed was all over the internet, and she literally became a small celebrity overnight. However, not for good reasons. Meghan, who had always wanted to become an actress from her childhood, unfortunately ended up being a police officer, and that's how her world started to fall apart. Meghan met Jedediah Hall and fell in love with him. He was the son of a local pastor. The two got married in the year 2018. As her acting career was a long-lost dream, she decided to join the La Vergne Police Department in Tennessee, and her husband, Jed, became a park ranger. Both of them seemed to be having a good time and were a perfect couple that everyone envied. There were many pictures of them sharing smiles and being deeply in love with one another. But remember how the saying goes, appearances are deceptive. However, Meghan later revealed that she and her husband, Jed, were having some serious issues in their marriage. These marital issues were exactly what paved the way for the events that followed. As Meghan was not satisfied with her marriage, she decided to do things the way she liked and have some fun on the way. However, her road to fun led her to get involved in some seriously questionable acts. Meghan and her co-workers engaged in some spicy sessions within the confines of the police department, and these included patrol officers Juan Lugo Perez, Louis Powell, Detective Seneca Shields, and Sergeant Henry T. McGowan, who were all fired from their positions along with Meghan. However, there were more officers involved, which included Patrick Magliacco, Larry Holliday, and Gavin Showborough, who got suspended after the investigation. It didn't take much time for the whole world to know about the ordeal. Not only was Meghan accused of wild sexual misconduct, but also having steamy romps with the 6 male officers, which included illicit on-duty liaison. On December 122, 2022, the police department received a shocking complaint. Thanks to a whistleblower, the mayor Jason Cole had found out that there were some serious things going on in his town's police department. An unknown person had ratted Meghan out and her sexcapades with her fellow officers, and these acts happened not only at hotels, motels, and boat parties, but also while on duty. These officers who were supposed to be serving the society and their nation. The head of human resources of the La Vergne Police Department, Andrew Patton, investigated into this scandal, who revealed some shocking detail. Meghan and her husband were on the verge of filing for a divorce and were on the way to solving their problems before Meghan's scandalous activities came to everybody's notice. Meghan had tricked the officers into thinking that she was in an open relationship with Jed, which was totally a big fat lie. Officer McGowan, who is seemingly the whistleblower to the mayor, had a meeting with Hall and Jed when she had joined the police force initially. Things got out of hand while at McGowan's house. Meghan and the officer's wife stripped off their clothes while they played strip on Uno. Paul was allegedly trying to get Jed to go with the flow, however. Jed was really upset with all the things that were unfolding. He did not want himself to be persuaded, but despite his feelings, Meghan and McGowan reportedly made out. The officer even sent pictures of his genitals to Meghan. McGowan, being the whistleblower, denied having any affairs with Meghan despite all the evidence and was fired for lying during the investigation. Patrick Magliacco, another one of the officers, admitted that he had been with Hall on various occasions. He also revealed that his wife Amy and Meghan made out after learning that Meghan and her husband had an open marriage. According to his testimony, he and his wife Amy had been in an open relationship with Meghan since the spring of 2022. There was a time when Jedediah had walked in on Meghan and Amy making out. They even tried to get Jed into a wife-swapping session. Jedediah, disgusted at what he had seen, departed the room and was quite uncomfortable with the whole situation, because how could a sane married man be into something like this? However, this is just the beginning. The wildest part of the whole ordeal took place on Memorial Day when all the officers in the department were invited to a Girls Gone Wild hot tub party, which was hosted by an officer called Stats on a boat that he owned. Some officers even came with their whole family, which even included their underage children. According to another officer named Durham, in an isolated incident, Magliocco was forcing vodka down Hall's throat, and then suddenly Halls took her top off, and seeing this, stay-ats jumped at Hall and stopped her from drinking and covered her up in order to protect Hall. Both stay-ats and Durham never had any illicit relationship with Halls, or so they claimed. Hall even fell down a flight of stairs at the party before having intercourse with Magliocco. According to Magliocco, Hall was prone to drinking, claiming that she once had even driven home after being drunk at his house party. Magliocco claimed that Hall was prone to self-harm and that she shouldn't be left alone. Hall even pointed an empty gun to her head and pulled the trigger so that she could hear what it sounded like. Hall was quite open about the relationship she had with the K-9 officer Larry Holliday in the first interview. However, she claimed that her steamy sessions with Holliday happened a long time ago. Holliday claimed that he had once invited Hall and other officers to his home to watch the football game. There was some serious drinking involved, and talks broke out about having a threesome between Holliday, Hall, and Holliday's ex-girlfriend. However, he claimed that nothing happened at the party. However, he later came clean about his sexual encounters with Hall, often booking hotel rooms for their liaison. Though she denied many of the allegations initially, she later confessed that she had often sent nude images of her to many officers on duty, including McGowan, to whom she sent her feet pictures. Megan, on the other hand, broke her silence on the issue after being fired due to the scandal that had come to the notice of the officials. Hall said that she was terrorized into having intercourse with her superiors, who sexually harassed her frequently. She revealed that she felt sexually groomed. She filed a lawsuit where she named some high-profile police officers from the Laverne Police Department and accused them of having taken advantage of her troubled marriage. Her 51-page lawsuit stressed that what happened with her is not rape. Instead, it was a situation where she had to give in from the pressure. Hall's lawyer, Wesley Clark, said that Megan wasn't looked at like a rookie cop to be trained and promoted, but like a piece of meat to be sexualized and exploited. Hall said, "I know what most people are saying. You know, you could have said no, I get it. But my response to them is I did say no, and he wouldn't take no for an answer." Hall was not in a good mental state and was vulnerable, and the officers took advantage of her situation and used it for their personal gain and satisfying their sexual need. Hall later stated, "I got stupid, I got desperate, and guys are guys and they'll stick their thing in anything." The most shocking part of this whole ordeal is that Hall's husband said that he would stay with his infidel wife even though he knows what wrong she had committed. What do you think of this? Was dismissing all the officers involved an appropriate punishment? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that bell icon, subscribe to our channel. We will be back with more updates.
On the evening of September 21st, 2019, law enforcement authorities swiftly reacted to a distressing domestic violence call that had emanated from an apartment in Austin, Texas. Deputy Pereira, a dedicated officer serving with the Williamson County Sheriff's Office, promptly arrived at the location. The door he knocked on belonged to the residence of Skylar Leo, a young 20-year-old woman who cohabited with her boyfriend Eric Ramirez. The call, urgently placed by a concerned neighbor, compelled the officers to investigate the situation without delay. Ms. Leo informed Deputy Pereira that Mr. Ramirez had left the apartment and didn't know his whereabouts. She also expressed her unwillingness to press charges of domestic assault.
Look up for me. What's on your neck? What happened?
Nothing happened.
So I have witnesses saying something happened. So you're trying to protect him?
No, I just really don't like dealing with y'all. I really don't want to deal with y'all. I really don't.
Okay. So...
I don't need to talk to y'all. I really don't.
Do you have your ID on you or anything?
No, I don't.
So what's your last name?
Domestic violence laws vary across states, including how abuse is defined, the charges against abusers, and mandatory reporting requirements. In Texas, officers have discretion in making arrests for domestic violence incidents. Despite Ms. Leo's reluctance to press charges, law enforcement and prosecutors can pursue criminal actions based on their investigation and evidence. Texas law emphasizes the protection of domestic violence victims, regardless of their cooperation.
So, were y'all, I'm trying to figure out why your friends called the cops.
What friend?
Or your witnesses, whoever was over here that called us. So what?
We got into an argument.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. It was nothing physical?
Nothing physical.
Where are the marks on your neck from?
We got into my necklace right here.
No, this right here. What is that from?
Does it really matter?
Yes.
Does
I'm gonna make sure you're okay.
I'm fine, ma'am.
So.
I'm fine. Like, literally, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I get a rash talking to y'all. I do not want to talk to you. And especially Williamson County, y'all have a really bad reputation. I've bad encounters with y'all. I do not want to
I'm not gonna hurt you.
I know you aren't, ma'am.
Okay, so we need your cooperation.
I know, and
Do you want to press charges?
I do not.
Okay.
No, I do not.
Thus, the police had a duty to safeguard Miss Leal's well-being during their response. Deputy Lorenzo Hernandez, previously featured on a reality show, encountered a situation where he tried to enter Miss Leal's apartment. Although Miss Leal protested, the Fourth Amendment allows officers to enter a citizen's home without a warrant under certain circumstances, such as protecting individuals from immediate harm, like in cases of domestic violence. Courts have often given officers broad discretion in responding to domestic violence calls. Based on these precedents, it's likely that a court would find Deputy Hernandez's entry into Miss Leal's apartment justifiable to ensure her safety, despite her objection. However, we must also address the legality of use of force in this situation. Deputy Hernandez contends that Miss Leal's non-compliance justified the altercation and the use of force by the deputies. However, a court would likely disagree, as it must assess the reasonableness of the force used. In the 1989 Supreme Court case of Graham v. Connor, courts considered the severity of the crime, the threat posed to officers or others, and whether the suspect is actively resisting arrest. The 2018 case of Darden v. City of Fort Worth further emphasized that excessive force occurs when an arrestee is not actively resisting. Ms. Leal, a victim not resisting arrest, faced unwarranted aggression. A court would undoubtedly find Deputy Hernandez's actions excessive. Sheriff Robert Shodey initiated an internal investigation after an altercation, leading to Deputy Hernandez's one-day suspension. Surprisingly, Hernandez was later promoted to detective, but in January 2021, he resigned when former Sheriff Shodey lost to current Sheriff Mike Gleason. Subsequently, Hernandez faced charges of official oppression and assault for his excessive use of force against Miss Leal.
When we shot my house, I'm like, well, we gotta find the guy that allegedly did this. So she didn't give direction of travel, description, anything. She's like, he left, I don't know where he went.
Third level Dickerson.
Satisfaction.
So we need to see if this guy's inside your apartment.
Who else is in here?
She filed a lawsuit against him in the Williamson County Sheriff's Office on September 20th, 2021. Both the criminal charges against Hernandez and Miss Leal's civil suit remain pending. His actions were unacceptable, rapidly escalating a peaceful situation, showing unprofessionalism and using excessive force.
Went to my apartment. Yo, with what? I'm literally gonna press charges on y'all.
We have a possible felony.
Possible felony?
Yes.
For what? For who? He's not here, I'm telling you.
But you don't know where he went?
I don't know where he went. Lady.
Okay.
Like, what?
Yeah, so you can understand where you're in handcuffs right now?
So what happened? We were trying to talk, right? That's all we were trying to do?
Okay, so I'm gonna take
Is there
these
a light in
handcuffs
here?
off you.
How do you turn the light
Are
on?
we gonna be cool if we take these handcuffs off?
The light's not on. It's not on.
It's Alright, ma'am, so I wasn't here with information to relate to you. When we come to stuff like this, we're going to check for safety reasons, okay? We're gonna make sure he's not here and you're not hiding him. We understand you don't want to cooperate. We can't force you to do that. We get that. We understand that. But you don't do what you just did. Not when we show up for something like this. We don't get your cooperation. That is what happens.
Yes.
Okay?
The deputy's authority to enter Miss Leal's apartment for the domestic disturbance is still debated. Here's our next story of a cop getting fired. On June 26, 2020, a 73-year-old woman named Karen Gardner, who suffered from dementia and sensory aphasia, which impaired her ability to communicate and understand, attempted to leave a Walmart in Loveland, California, carrying unpaid items worth $13.88. Store employees stopped her for leaving, and Miss Gardner tried to offer her a credit card to pay for the items, but they refused and took the items back. Eventually, she left the store. Subsequently, a Walmart employee reported the incident to the Loveland Police Department, and Officer Austin Hopp responded to the call. He located Miss Gardner as she was walking home on the side of the road and pulled up behind her with his lights on. When she didn't stop, he parked his vehicle and approached her. After failing to effectively communicate with Miss Gardner, Officer Hopp grabs her and throws her to the ground in an attempt to restrain her.
Ma'am, Police, stop. You want to stop? Lights on, siren, stop. You just left Walmart. Do you need to be arrested right now? No. Okay. Let's stop.
Miss Garner, visibly confused, repeatedly tells Officer Hop that she's going home, as the two engage in a brief scuffle. Eventually, Officer Hop's able to place Miss Garner into handcuffs and lead her back to his patrol car. Shortly after Officer Hop gained control of Miss Garner, Daria Jalali arrived on the scene. The two officers, Hop and Jalali, once again forced Miss Garner to the ground. Officer Jalali assisted Officer Hop in restraining Miss Gardner's feet and placing her in the patrol vehicle. A concerned citizen confronted Officer Hop about his conduct. Officer Hop defended himself, claiming he had the authority to use force, but the citizen believed it violated department policy, Colorado law, and the U.S. Constitution.
I'm not going anymore.
Why are you fighting with me? And why are you trying to slip the cuffs off?
I'm going home.
Stop.
I'm going home.
No, you're not. Are you finished? Are you finished? We don't play this game. You understand me? And if you try to kick me, this is gonna be bad.
I'm going home.
Stop.
I'm going home. I'm going home.
The Colorado revised statutes under Section 18.1.707 require officers to use nonviolent means when possible before resorting to physical force. However, this provision was only added through Senate Bill 20-217, effective from September 1, 2020. At the time of Miss Garner's arrest, the statute allowed reasonable physical force for effecting an arrest. Despite her non-threatening demeanor, the officer's actions came under scrutiny. In an attempt to ascertain Miss Garner's identity, the officers questioned her about her date of birth. However, she remained unresponsive and refused to engage with them, showing apparent signs of mental instability.
Karen, I got your credit card, okay? It'll go with you. What's your date of birth, Karen? I have it. You will have it with you. I will not lose it, I promise. What's your date of birth, Karen? Huh? Who's my sergeant?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first, I can tell you that. Sergeant Metzler, he's at the police department. You can go talk to him if you have an issue.
Yeah, give me your card so I can put a report.
Okay.
I see you there, how you throw the little kid.
Little kid?
Well, I don't know.
He's not
if
a little kid. And this
he was just walking, and I see you how you grab him.
Stole from Walmart and refused to stop, refused to listen to lawful orders, and to fight me. This is what happens when you fight the police. I have to use force to safely detain her. That's what this is. This isn't just some random act of aggression.
Unfortunately, the officer seemed oblivious to the possibility of her suffering from dementia, despite her exhibiting symptoms of disorientation, memory loss, and disordered speech. The Loveland Police Department's policy on interactions with individuals suspected of mental illness clearly outlined the need for officers to be aware of such behaviors and to establish a compassionate connection while ensuring everyone's safety. Officer Hop, as seen in the body camera footage, either failed to recognize these signs or deliberately disregarded the policy during his interactions with Miss Garner. After being brought to the police station, Miss Garner was led inside by officers and left handcuffed to a bench where she remained unattended for several hours without any medical assistance. Officer Hop's use of force resulted in severe injuries for Miss Garner, including a fractured and dislocated shoulder, a bloody nose, facial scrapes, and contusions on her knees. The incident also led to her being diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, causing ongoing physical pain in her shoulder, arm, and wrist.
Here, let me see your feet.
Credit card.
We'll get it.
Oh, my credit card.
Karen, I got your credit card, okay? It'll go with you. What's your date of birth, Karen? I have it. You will have it with you. I will not lose it, I promise. What's your date of birth, Karen?
Security footage at the station revealed officers Hop and Jalali revealing body camera footage with community service officer Tyler Blackett, who was seen celebrating the harm caused to Miss Garner. In his narrative report on the use of force, Officer Hop recounted that upon contacting the suspect, she attempted to flee, leading to her being placed on the ground to ensure safe detainment. The suspect resisted arrest persistently, necessitating the application of multiple controlling holds. Consequently, the suspect sustained minor lacerations to her wrists from the handcuffs.
Yeah, okay.
Hey.
Let's get her down to the station.
Okay, we don't need to wait for Capella.
No, we can see what. I mean,
Okay.
we know she. What's it say?
She stole some stuff, and they caught her before she left and got it back, and then she ran out. So we have
And then you contacted her for that,
and then she resisted and
resisted. So
we're good either way.
So we're good either way.
Cool.
She's going.
All right.
Let's get a free pass. If they decide not to prosecute, I don't care.
Cool. Okay, we'll head down there.
And a small laceration to her chin. Despite clear contradictions between Officer Hopp's account and the body camera footage, as well as Miss Garner's actual physical condition, higher-ranking officers, including Sergeant Metzler, approved the use of force as necessary, reasonable, and within policy. However, the situation took a significant turn when Miss Garner filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Loveland, Officers Hopp and Jalali, and Sergeant Metzler. The case gained national attention when Miss Garner's attorney, Sarah Shilka, publicly released the body camera footage on April 14, 2021. In response to public outrage, Officer Hopp was placed on administrative leave, while Officer Jalali and Sergeant Metzler were reassigned to administrative duties pending an internal investigation. Subsequently, all three officers, along with Officer Blackett, chose to resign from their positions. Now, here's our next story of a cop violating the rules. On January 12, 2023, Officer Jack Lowry of the Bloomington Police Department initiated a traffic stop on Ricky Pouncil, a local resident, as he was driving through the city of Bloomington, Minnesota, on his way back from the gym. The ensuing interaction between them was recorded on Officer Lowry's body camera. Officer Lowry informed Mr. Council that he had been pulled over for driving on the center lane and subsequently documented in his police report that the stop was due to a lane violation and driving at 53 miles an hour in a 60-mile-per-hour zone as per Section 169.15 of the Minnesota statutes. The statute states that driving at a slow speed impedes normal traffic, and it's prohibited unless necessary for safety or compliance with the law. However, considering the vehicle's weight and the highway grade, Officer Lowry's belief of Mr. Council's violation may not be reasonable, as he was driving slightly below the speed limit. Additionally, Officer Lowry claimed Mr. Council was drifting between lanes, which under Section 169.8 requires driving within a single lane unless it can be done safely.
With valid license, everything? Okay. Anytime, man. All right.
License status valid.
Rental car, pretty distinct reaction to my presence, and then going like 55 in middle lane, and wasn't really cooperative with me at all. Didn't want to tell me where he was coming to, where he was going. There's some luggage in the back seat too.
There's what?
Like a couple bags in the trunk. Okay. He didn't seem super cooperative, so I'm just gonna pull him out and try talking about you. Ricky, right?
The U.S. Supreme Court has upheld that pretextual stops, motivated by investigating potential criminal activity, are constitutionally valid, regardless of the officer's true motivations. Thus, if the court accepts Officer Lowry's statement about the lane violation, the traffic stop is likely to be deemed constitutionally valid. According to the police report, Officer Lowry conducted a search of the vehicle, finding only vitamin C capsules. Subsequently, Mr. Pouncil was released after being detained for approximately 35 minutes. The incident came to light when Mr. Pouncil's nephew reached out to relay the details. Despite Mr. Pouncil and his family's efforts to report the incident to the city of Bloomington, the Bloomington Police Department and the city attorney, no wrongdoing was found on Officer Lowry's part, and no corrective actions were taken. The encounter left Mr. Pouncil feeling marginalized and alienated from local authorities. While Officer Lowry avoided physical confrontation, he inappropriately extended the traffic stop without reasonable suspicion and used manipulative tactics to obtain consent for the search. Mr. Pouncil receives a B+ for maintaining composure and filing complaints, but his ability to challenge Officer Lowry's actions was diminished by consenting to the search.